Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Leap Expert Hour. So I see a lot of guys are joining in. So yeah, guys, if you can hear me, if you can see me, just type hi in the chat box and start posting your questions because we have 1 hour today, and I'll try and answer a lot of your questions today. I'll be covering a very brief presentation, and till the time before we start, just I would love to know where you guys are joining from. So let me know in the chat box, where are you guys from? Which part of India, or maybe overseas? Cool. Let's wait for people to join in. Hi, Tushar. Hello. Hi, Mohsin. Hello. Great. Guys, let me know where you guys are from, so I get to know my audience better. Right. So we have Ayush joining from Pune. Cool. Jitin, Jacob from Kerala, Arun from Delhi. Right. Fast, guys. Just start typing. I have to answer your questions as well. Cool. Tushar from Uttar Pradesh, Shahjahanpur. Preeti from Patiala. Right. Preeti, I'm located very nearby. I live in Chandigarh. VN Patel from Gujarat. Cool. Guys, start posting your questions, and just let me know, just to make sure that I'm able to answer your questions correctly, and I have all the info available, as in I would need a lot of your info in terms of your profile. So just share your questions as elaborate as possible, and it will be easier for me to address them. Right, so we already have some questions floating in. So I'll start answering. I'll cover the presentation very briefly, and then we'll start answering the questions. So I'll take the questions chronologically as students start posting. So welcome to today's live session. We're doing it exclusively for people who are looking to study in Canada. And I think one of the most burning questions which everyone has is whether they should go for a master's or they should go for a PG diploma. So in today's session, I'll be addressing a lot of your queries. I'll be addressing your dilemma of choosing between the master's and PG diploma. And if you guys are looking to study in Canada in 2023, that is January, May, or September, specifically for January people who are thinking of applying to Canadian colleges, guys, do it fast because the seats are filling very fast. And you might not be able to get your college where you wish to study at. So let's start with today's session. And before we start, there's one exclusive deal for you. So all of you who are joining today's session, there is a link in the chat box. So you can go and click on that link. And if you sign up today, you just have to pay $199. And if you sign up today, you get a chance to speak to me, get guidance from me one-on-one personally. So that's a golden opportunity. So just do that. There is a link in the chat box. You just have to pay $199. You get guidance from me. Plus, you also get to connect with a counselor at Leap. They'll help you with your applications, your visas, your LORs, your SOPs, your Ielts, and plus you also get to join the student community of around 70,000 students who, like you, are also willing to study abroad, and you'll practically have friends before you move to Canada. So guys, go and sign up right now. It's a very big deal at very value for money proposition. Cool. Let's begin with today's session. So yeah, talking about Masters and PG Diploma, very straightforward. When we talk about the duration, so masters can be usually 1 to 2 years. So there would be some programs like accelerated MBAs or executive MBAs, which will be around 1 year. But essentially, most Canadian universities offer 2-year masters. However, PG diplomas can be 8 months to 2 years. So there would be certain certificate level programs which are at the PG level. They can be 8 months. There would be some programs which can last up to 15 to 16 months. And then there are 2 years PG diplomas as well. However, don't get confused between the names because certain colleges would call it a PG diploma. Certain colleges may call it a graduate certificate. Certain colleges call it a postgraduate diploma. Some colleges call it a post baccalaureate diploma or a post-degree diploma as well. Next up is your education background. So if you want to apply for masters, essentially you need a 16 years of education, which is after your 12th, you need to have a 4-year degree. However, there are a few exceptions. There would be some programs available for business students generally, which accept 3-year undergrad as well. But again, do check with your counselor that if you qualify for those programs. For PG diploma, ideally, I think even if you have 3-year degree, 4-year degree, anyone can pursue them. So pretty flexible that ways. Talking about the percentage, that's your entry requirement. Ideally, for a master's, I would recommend a 70% plus because the chances of acceptance increase a lot. Canadian universities are very, very competitive and the number of places are very limited. So 70% is something we're looking at ideally if you want to get into a university for a master's. PG diploma, 50% is okay. Like I have seen a lot of students with a 48 or 49% as well getting into PG diplomas as well. But for such students, I would recommend really good Ielts score because that's kind of a borderline case. So essentially, I would say 50% plus. 55 is something we're looking at generally. Talking about Ielts. So Ielts in universities, I would recommend 7 overall with 6.5 in each. However, some universities also accept 6.5. But like I said, Canadian universities are very, very competitive. So higher the score, more are the chances. Next up for PG diploma, you need 6.5 overall with 6 in each. That's the standard requirement across all Canadian colleges, most Canadian colleges. Some may also accept you with a 5.5 in one module, but again, in such cases, your file is processed under non-SDS, which takes a lot of time to process, up to 3 months practically, and the chances of visa refusals are also high. So I would recommend that you get a 6.5 overall with 6 in each. Next up is your GMAT or GRE. So a lot of programs at the master's level will require GMAT and GRE. However, that will not be a requirement for a PG diploma. So you're good to go in that case. Work experience, some master's programs, essentially the MBAs will require work experience. But again, for PG diplomas, work experience is not mandatory. Cool. Talking about the documentation and fee now. So for masters, you need your education certificates. So do for PG diploma as well. Work certificates, if it's applicable, if the university requires the work, your work experience, then it is required. Otherwise, it's not. For PG diploma, if you have any work experience, you should ideally show it. Ielts, it's required for both masters and PG diploma. Your SOP is required for masters. However, it is not required for PG diploma. LORs, letters of recommendations. Essentially, we need 2 letters of recommendations from the professors who taught you. You can also submit, ideally, one professional reference. So that's something most Canadian universities will accept. So 2 LORs will be required in masters. Some universities may ask for a 3rd as well, depending on which program you're applying for. And for a PG diploma, you essentially don't require LOR. However, I think there would be one question which comes from a lot of people that SOP is required for PG diploma as well. But again, that will be only at the visa stage if you have something to elaborate, not at the application stage. Talking about tuition fee, Canadian 18,000 to 35,000 per annum is essentially a fee, a range of fee, I would say, for a master's program. And for PG diploma, it ranges between 10 to 20,000, 10 to 21, 22 as well, depending on which program. Some healthcare courses would be a little bit more expensive. They can stretch up to 22 as well sometimes. Cool. Before I start with the Q&A again, so I'll start taking your questions. So this is the, a big bonus for everyone who's joining today. So there is a link like I said, it's in the chat box. So you go there, you click on that link, you sign up for just 199 rupees for today. You get personalized guidance from me, and plus you also get exclusive benefits LeapScholar has to offer, which includes your SOPs, your LORs. We have experienced writers who write your SOPs and LORs as well. They'll help you with shortlisting colleges. They'll help you with applications, visas, documentation, accommodation, your Ielts coaching as well if you wish to, if you still haven't applied for Ielts, and plus you also get to join the student community. Cool. Let's take up questions now. So I'll be very quick. Guys, please be a little bit more elaborate with your questions so that I can answer them. because if you give me more information, it will allow me to give you a concrete answer. First question from Sevashi. Hello, sir. Which country would be better to stay back after completing Masters of Finance and Accounting? Sevashi, I think in all my sessions, I've said that if you want to stay back abroad, the easiest country you can target is Canada, because Canada essentially has a lot of PNP programs. They have dedicated province-specific pathways. They have, something like the Atlantic Immigration Program. Every province has, a kind of an immigration program. Then, there is Express Entry as well. And within the Express Entry, there is, a Canadian experience class, which is basically aimed at students who are already in Canada and they have 1 year of work experience. So getting PR is faster. Again, Canada is also changing its rules. People who are already in Canada, studying in Canada, are on the post-study work. They are making it easy for them to transit to the PR, the permanent residency. So I hope that answers the question. So Canada would be the best. However, that being said, UK and Australia are also really good. Australia is offering up to 6 years of post-study work visas in some areas. UK is offering 2 years of post-study work. And London, obviously, it's a financial hub. So I think definitely makes sense if you're looking at studying at a top university. So entirely will depend on your goal after graduation. If you want to stay back, and if you don't want to take risk, and if you're wanting to play safe, then I think Canada would be the best option. Next up, question from Tushar, right? Job opportunities after doing PG Diploma from a good college. Tushar, I think PG Diploma essentially is very practically oriented program. It's more, I would say, vocationally oriented program. A lot of your modules or whatever you study in a PG Diploma are, designed to help you with, once you get into the job market. A lot of PG Diplomas will also offer you something called co-op option. So do check that. I think I've said it in a lot of my webinars earlier as well. So if you opt for co-op option, you do get to work with a Canadian employer for a certain time period, which helps you to get Canadian work experience. And once you get into the job market, it's easier to get a job. Plus, most likely, if you do well, that employer may end up hiring you as well full-time after you graduate. So yes, there are very good opportunities, again, depending on which subject you want to study. And make sure that you choose your province wisely. Next up from Elenki. Right. So after PG Diploma from GBC, I think GBC Elenki is a very good college. It's a public college and it carries great reputation. So yeah, as far as I know, and as far as I have spoken to my previous students, GBC has one of the really good, I would say, employability rate amongst all the Canadian colleges, and it's a public college and it's located in the heart of GTA area. So definitely a good choice. Rohan, I remember you from another session, I think. What are the best colleges for Masters in Occupational Therapy in UK and Canada? So Rohan, that will entirely also depend on what kind of percentage. In terms of best colleges, see, occupational therapy as a subject is very much, I would say, in demand in both countries, if I say. But talking about best universities, if I say best, then obviously, there are universities like Toronto, there's university like UBC, there's university like Dalhousie in Canada, and then obviously when we talk about UK, you can go to Oxford, Cambridge, Edinburgh. All these universities are best. But again, it will entirely depend on what kind of percentage you have and what kind of profile your sister has. So I would advise you to kind of enroll with us, and a counselor will be able to help you shortlist the options. I hope that answers your question. Next up, we have a question from VN Patel. My IELTS exam is on 20th August. Is it possible to get admission in PG Diploma in International Business Management in Canada? So I'm not really sure which intake you're eyeing, VN, but for January, I cannot guarantee you, because 20th of August, so ideally your result will be out somewhere in the first week of September, I think 2nd or 3rd. So by then, I'm not really sure which program or which college would be open. So just appear for an IELTS exam. And if you miss the January intake, don't worry. We have the May intake as well. So a lot of colleges would offer international business management as an option in May intake as well, if you want to study in Canada. Cool. Next up, we have a question from Celine. Hi, sir. I completed my graduation BCA in 2019, working professional, 3 years of experience, and I would like to know about the course and scholarship for data analytics. Data analytics, Celine, is a very good option. However, in terms of courses, with a 3-year BCA, ideally you'll not have any master's option, but there would be plenty of postgraduate diploma options, specifically located in Toronto. There are plenty of colleges. So ideally, I think in Toronto area, there would be a lot of colleges that would be offering a data analytics program, a PG diploma. But scholarships are limited because Canadian colleges are not very generous with scholarships. If you have a good, I would say percentage, some colleges like Humber, they offer entrance scholarships, which are around $2,000 to $3,000, but not more than that. Conestoga would have some sort of scholarships as well, but again, they're not very generous. So don't expect much on scholarships. And these scholarships are only offered to a very, very few students. So don't bank a lot on scholarships. But yeah, in terms of programs, you can find a lot of colleges, like Centennial, and every college in GTA would offer some sort of data analytics or a computer sciences intersection program. Also, make sure that you choose your college wisely. For IT related programs, I always recommend people to choose Toronto, because Toronto is now the officially 3rd largest IT hub in Canada, and it's going to grow exponentially over the next decade or so. So definitely a good choice if you're wanting to study IT. Next up, Jitin Jacob, which country would be best to get fully funded scholarship for a PG course? I think, Jitin, if you've been following my videos, I think the one country which I always say, is very generous with scholarships is Australia. So yes, there would be a lot of Australian universities that will offer you 100% scholarship. Like Deakin is there, Monash is there. They have the VC scholarships, which offer you 100% tuition fee waiver. However, that being said, those scholarships are very, very competitive, and a lot of students from all over the world apply for those scholarships. However, UK is also a good option. UK does have a couple of 100% scholarships like Chevening and Commonwealth, but again, they're also very competitive. But UK has one advantage, which is a lot of universities would offer you a merit-based scholarship, which ranges between 5 lakh rupees to 15 lakh rupees. So somewhere between that, there would be top universities like Edinburgh. There are universities like King's College. Even these universities will offer you something like 15,000 or 10,000 worth, pounds of scholarship, which translates to 10 to 15 lakh as well. There are automatic scholarships as well, which give you around maximum to the stretch of 5,000 pounds as well at some times. So do check UK as well. But Australia is undoubtedly the one of the best countries if you're looking at 100% scholarships. Rajesh, is Canada worth it compared to UK or Australia for PR jobs, etc.? Rajesh, I think I don't have to answer this question ideally, because I think everyone in the student community knows that Canada is the most generous country in terms of PR. And if you want to settle down, it's the easiest country to settle down if I compare it to the other English-speaking countries. And yes, jobs, because Canadian economy is back on track after COVID, it's booming. So there are plenty of jobs available. MT, can I apply for a diploma after a master's in India? Not recommended, to be honest. Why? Because if you already have a higher degree, why would you apply for a degree or a diploma which is of a lower level? And that is not seen very positively by the visa officers specifically. So there would be some universities or colleges that will give you the offer letter, but in such cases, visa is a risk factor. MT, I would recommend, I would recommend that you actually go for another master's degree, but again, it should not be very similar to what you've already done. And in such cases, if you already have a master's degree and you're wishing to study another master's, your SOP has to be very, very strong. And that is why, guys, LeapScholars, we as an organization, like I said, if you enroll for LeapScholar today, which is just for 199 rupees, our experts can help you draft such SOPs, because we are kind of, because we deal with this on a daily basis. So we know how to draft an SOP, which kind of will help you with the visa applications as well. So I would like to remind you again that there is link which is floating in the chat box. So if you haven't enrolled already, so it's a golden chance to get to speak to me and get guidance from me. And plus, you also receive a lot of benefits, like I said, your SOPs, your LORs, accommodation, visas, applications, and lots more. So definitely, I think in just 199 rupees, and you get so many services. And we live in times of inflation, guys. I think a coffee at Starbucks or maybe barista for that matter is more expensive. So yeah, a meal at McDonald's will cost more than that. So 199 rupees, and yes, you have a good shot at your future career. So do enroll right now. Cool. Let me just get back to my questions. So we have the next question from Shivam Chawla. Hi, Saket sir. What are the low-cost courses at UBC? Well, Shivam, I would like to keep this as a secret because there are few things which should be kept secret, as we counselors should know, where to kind of, obviously, like, yes, sorry. So I just lost track in between. So your question was, what are the low-cost courses at UBC? So what if I tell you there are some courses in UBC that will cost you as less as $10,000 as well? So if you want to know more, why not actually sign up for LeapScholar and you connect with me personally? So go sign up. So you have another reason to sign up with us. Cool. Yeah, just to remind you guys, the link is still floating in the chat box. So I'll keep the screen on and I'll keep answering the questions. Next up, we have question from Chavi. Is there something that first language is French and we need to learn French for getting admitted into some of the colleges? Chavi, yes and no. Certain universities in Canada, especially in Quebec, they teach a few courses in French only. So I'll give you an idea here. So there is this MBA program at McGill, and which it is jointly offered by McGill and HEC Montreal. So it is partially, it's taught in English, but again, students are expected to understand French as well, not speak, but maybe understand. But again, there are few programs which will be taught entirely in French as well. So do check before you apply. So when you go to a university website, it will clearly mention that this program is taught in French. So if you know French, then it's fine. Otherwise, I would say, if you're interested to learn French, then it's always good that you land in Canada, you live in Quebec, and you also get to learn French for free. And, the government sometimes also pays you to learn French. So for that, you can check our Instagram channel. So there is a lot of information available there as well. Nilesh Reddy, I remember you from my last session as well. Nilesh, they said PG in Sheridan is good for animation programs as there are no masters in animation in Canada. But how to get admission in a particular program as it is a bit complicated and comparative. So Nilesh, if you want to get in Sheridan, Sheridan is a public college, and obviously, if you have the background, then I'm pretty much sure they'll know there shouldn't be any problem. I would advise you that you connect with our counselors and they can help you applying with Sheridan. But I'm not really sure if the program is open right now because Sheridan is a very, very popular college and the seats fill up very fast. So connect with us and I think you'll have a proper, pathway to kind of your application and your visa process as well. But otherwise, Sheridan College is definitely a good choice. But however, I think I told you in the last session as well that Canada as a country is not popular for programs related to design. So you'll not find a lot of options in Canada as such. Cool. Next up, we have a question from Vinuthan. BA Economics 8.01, GRE 318, IELTS 7.5. I'll be completing my PGD this December from GBC in IBM. Can I apply for masters after PGD for supply chain management? So you have, okay, you're studying in George Brown College already. Great. So we have someone from Canada joining us. IBM, International Business Management. And can I apply for masters after PGD for supply chain management? Vinuthan, do you have experience in supply chain as such? I think you don't. Ideally you can apply for masters, but again, supply chain, I think with you already have a master's PG diploma in international business management. Cool. If you have studied supply chain management as one of the modules, I would say essentially yes, you would be able to apply, but do check with the university if you meet the entry requirements and which university you're eyeing at. However, your profile is good, your GRE score is good, your IELTS is really good. So I don't see any problem. The only issue I see is whether you've studied supply chain management in the past or not, because a lot of universities would ask for that to have a little bit of background in the subject before they admit you. Okay, guys, before I move forward, one more time, if you want to get started with your journey to Canada in 2023, there is a link which is floating in the chat box. Go click on that link. It's just 199 rupees and you get exclusive guidance from me. Plus you also get to connect with the counselors and you get all the benefits, all the services LeapScholar has to offer. Right. Next up, we have questions from Garvit. Hi, sir. I'm currently in final year of Bachelor of Pharmacy. I'm interested in pharmaceutical sciences or biotechnology. Please suggest good options. Garvit, I think I have interacted with you in one of the previous sessions as well. So I think I remember I told you that if you have a background in pharmacy, please stick to pharmacy, because pharmacy as a field has a very vast potential in coming years, obviously because of the global health challenges the world is facing. So stick to pharmacy. And if you want to get into a master's kind of program, and I think like, see, if I talk about best universities, like I said, it can be Toronto as well. But again, I think Dalhousie University is a very, very good option. It's a very prestigious university. Plus, it's located in Atlantic Canada, so it will definitely help you in getting the PR faster. The AIP, the Atlantic Immigration Program, is basically designed for international students who study in these 4 provinces and to make their transition easier to PR. So check out Dalhousie University. I'm pretty much sure you'll find something very interesting there. So they're pretty much known for pharmacy and health science related programs. Okay. Tushar, BCom, 7 bands, Masters in Finance. BCom, unfortunately, Tushar, you'll not have any option for Masters in Canada for sure. For Masters, because you can do a PG diploma. However, if you are interested in an MBA, so Thompson Rivers University has an MBA which accepts you with a 3-year undergrad, and you have good score, I think you can apply for that program. Karam Patel, for civil engineering students, which country is better, Canada or Australia? See, Karam, I think if you want to settle down easily, both countries are good in terms of courses and in terms of job opportunities, but settling down in Canada is easier. So let me put it that way. If your goal is to move abroad, study and settle quickly as in maybe, in a short duration of time, I think Canada will make more sense. Otherwise, Australia is also decent for civil engineering. Tushar, PG diploma versus master's degree, which is better if student is good in studies? I don't think so. Anything is better than like PG diploma is better or master's is better. It will entirely depend on what are your circumstances. So like I said, every country has a very different education system, and Canada has very different education system. So if you have a 3-year degree, and essentially you will not be able to get a lot of master's program options. However, that being said, PG diploma does not mean that, you don't really get jobs or, you don't get hired or something like that. In fact, PG diploma students get really good jobs. Yes, the only thing would be, maybe they get a little bit lesser salaries than someone who's from a master's, who graduated with a master's degree. But otherwise, I don't see any problem with the PG diploma programs as well. I hope that answers your question, Tushar. Prudhvi, I have completed 12th. Studying UG diploma is a better option. Okay. Prudhvi, now that will again depend on you. UG diploma in Canada, you can either go for a 2-year advanced diploma or a 3-year advanced diploma. But let me tell you one thing, I'm not really sure which intake you're looking at, but there was a news recently that some colleges in Ontario, some public colleges, they might offer a 3-year undergrad degree. So just wait for an announcement. If you're looking at September 23 intake, then you still have time. Then you can go for a three-year bachelor's degree if that comes out. Otherwise, I think it will entirely depend on you and your career goals. So essentially, a 2 years, UG diploma will definitely help you getting a job. But to grow further in your career, you would need, like a higher degree. But the kind of world we're living in, it's very, I would say, unpredictable, because it's like a lot of companies are now moving towards the skill-based hiring. They focus more on skills than qualification. But qualification for international students, especially who are going to a foreign country, that's the route. It creates a route for you to move to that country and maybe settle down. So I'm not really sure what your career goals are, but yes, that's my personal opinion, that if you want to grow further in your career, you would need a higher degree. And I would advise that you can check out a bachelor's if possible. Vipul, UCW is a good college for MBA. UCW is a private university and it's located in Vancouver, and they've grown exponentially over the last few years. They were not very popular earlier, but now they're very, very popular with Indian students. Reason being, mostly they accept people with a 3-year degree as well. Again, Vipul, it will be entirely up to you. You cannot compare it to something like UBC. Obviously, it's not a very high-ranked university, but again, it offers a decent package, I would say. Okay, Nilesh, what is the difference between a postgraduate certificate and a postgraduate diploma? Okay, there's not much of a difference, Nilesh. So I think largely it would be, some colleges will call a 1-year PG program as a postgraduate certificate and a 2-year PG program as a postgraduate diploma. But I have seen some colleges wherein you also get a 1-year PG diploma and a 2-year PG certificate as well. So it's just the nomenclature which is different. So I'll give you an idea here. So if you see, colleges in British Columbia, they don't call it a postgraduate diploma. They call it a post-baccalaureate diploma or a post-degree diploma. So the nomenclature is different. Nothing major, to be honest. It's something like, the US will call, or maybe Canada, you get a master's in management. In UK, they call it MSc management. So that's the nomenclature which is different. Nothing major. Chavi, what about MS in education leadership, development psychology, or MS in nutrition and dietetics? Chavi, I would need a proper profile to understand. See, education leadership is one program even I'm thinking of pursuing. So I've done extensive research on it, and trust me, it's one of the best programs right now if you want to grow in the education space overall. And MS nutrition and dietetics is totally a different domain altogether. So I'm not really sure which field you're looking at in general. So I would advise that you get in touch with the counselors, and they can help you in shortlisting proper options. And you can ask them a lot of questions in detail, and they'll be happy to answer all of them. Next up, Karam Patel. Yes. Construction management is one of the most booming fields of study. And plus, I think it's ideally suited for someone who's from civil engineering background. Karam, if possible, okay, you've already shortlisted Fanshawe, right? So Fanshawe is a very, very good college, a public college. So pretty good, I would say. Go ahead with it. Black, Coder, I'm not really sure, Coder. For civil engineering student, which country is better, Canada or Australia? I think both are good. I think, like I said, if you want to settle down easy, I would say Canada is better. Australia takes time to kind of get the PR and all. So I think if PR is your call, true calling, then I think Canada makes way more sense. Pavla, can a 3-year bachelor's degree person can study masters in Canada? Yes, you can, but again, very limited options. Very limited options. Mrudula Pandit, I want to pursue my master's in immunology. I'm currently opting for PG Diploma in Lambton, but I haven't done any research in BSc. Can I still pursue my master's after PG Diploma in Canada? Yes, because most master's programs, Mrudula, will have a module called research methodology, which will be inbuilt into the master's program. And within that module, you learn how to conduct research, how to do qualitative and quantitative research. So I'll tell you my story. I also did a master's by research from New Zealand, and I didn't have any research background. I just had a bachelor's from the UK, and my master's program was a research program. So I studied the research methodologies course within the master's degree, which allowed me to, prepare my dissertation or the research part at the end of my degree. So don't worry, most universities have that inbuilt into the master's program. Okay, cool. So next question. God, I have a sore throat now, so I think I just need to have some water. Cool, guys. I just have water, and in the meanwhile, you can please go and sign up for LeapScholar's, LS Plus, which is just for 199 rupees today, and you get exclusive benefits. So go sign up and just give me 2 seconds. I need some water to drink. My sore is kind of throat right now. Sorry, my throat is sore, so I kind of misspelled the words. And I just got a notification from Zomato, so yeah, like I'm kind of hungry as well. Cool. Next up, Yashraj. When should I take Ielts for 2023? When for 2024, both September intake? Yashraj, it will depend on whether you're applying for a degree or a diploma, like whether you're applying for a university or a college. Why? Because colleges, they have rolling admissions. And ideally, if you apply to the college, colleges usually don't give you a conditional offer letter. So you need to have Ielts with you. So I would say if you're applying to college, try and have your Ielts done before you start applying. And in case you want to apply for universities will be happy to give you a conditional offer letter. So I think then you can plan accordingly. I hope that answers your question. Okay. If I secure admission in Masters for fall 23 intake, can I extend my study permit without returning to India? I think yes, Vinuthan, you can be in Canada when you apply for a study permit. I don't see any problem. But again, I think you can do it yourself, and your university will essentially help you with your study permit. So I don't see any problem with that. Okay. So next up, we have Mehak, colleges for psychology that have less fee. Less fee, I think Mehak, ideally, less fee, I cannot think because I don't remember every college's fee on top of my mind. But essentially, the general, I would say, guideline would be to look for colleges in Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and the 4 Atlantic provinces. So mostly colleges in these areas are like, they have lesser fee as compared to something like, Ontario or British Columbia. Huzaib, sir, I've completed my BTech CSE from NIT Srinagar, CGPA 8.1, 3 years experience, IELTS 8, want to do business analytics in the UK. What should be my target colleges in the UK? You've got a great profile, Huzaib. I think you can target a Russell Group University. A Russell Group University, there are 24 universities, and I think you can target most of them with this score. And you are from a very good college, which is National Institute of Technology. So obviously that will play in your favor. So why don't you try for something like, let's say you can try Sheffield, you can try Manchester. These universities are pretty good in the UK. Next up, Yasmin, I want to do PhD from abroad. Yasmin, for PhD, unfortunately, we don't assist. Why? Because PhD works in a very different manner. For that, you have to essentially go to the university website where you want to study at. Go to the department website and then search for a possible supervisor. And for that, you have to email them. You should have your research topic ready. And if they agree to supervise your topic, that's how you kind of start your admission process. I hope that helps. Karam, yes, I've already answered that question. Fanshawe is a good college. Mehak, I've already answered that question. Can I still get into winter 2023? 973, yes, you can, but be quick. Why don't you just enroll right now, and a counselor will get in touch with you, and they'll help you with the applications. The seats are filling very, very fast, and you need to be very, very quick. So do it right away. Okay, Mridula, I have answered your question. Mr. Trump, what are the job opportunities after International Business PGDM? International Business is actually one of the most popular courses in Canada, and it's also called Global Business Management by some colleges. Again, the possibilities are endless. Mr. Trump, so I think why don't you just make sure that you keep once you land in Canada, it's always good to network, and it's always good to build your LinkedIn. It's always good to connect with your peers and your colleagues, and that's how you kind of land a job. Ideally, if you can find, if you're willing to, then you can also opt for a co-op option, which will help you to get practical work experience, and that will help you in securing a job at a later stage. Joffin Joshua, sir, I've done my BCom honors. Should I opt for MBA or PG Diploma? I don't have work experience and I'm PGDM, then which course is best? Joshua, MBA, you just have one option in Canada. Two options, I think. One is UCW and one is TRU, Thompson Rivers University. I think UCW still needs 2 years of experience. I'm not really sure about that. But TRU will accept you without a work experience and with 3 years bachelor's. But again, getting into just one option is not, keeping one option is not always recommended. So apply for postgraduate diplomas as well. After BCom, you can get into a lot of, programs. You have options of getting into accounting and finance. You can get into supply chain logistics. You can get into, a lot of people get into marketing as well. I would advise, if you have interest in numbers, go for accounting and finance. It's a very, very good course. Next. Divya Gupta, sir, I've completed my Bachelor of Arts, Political Science and Physical Education as subjects recently. Can you please recommend which management course I can go for? I have done my 12th grade from commerce stream. So Divya, what all other subjects did you study apart from political science and physical education? So ideally, I see business communication as one of the good courses you can go for. Either you can also check out HRM, but again, I would need to know a lot of other details as well so that I can evaluate your profile accordingly. So for that, you can sign up with the link in the chat box. Deepak Singla, I'm completing my BTech Mechanical. Please advise which master's degree with good option of scholarships. Deepak, ideally, you can go for a mechanical degree, mechanical engineering master's. You can go for a project management degree. You can go for engineering management degree. You can also go for a management program, but it will entirely depend on which, what's your interest area. So if you want to stay within the technical side of things, I think a mechanical degree, mechanical engineering master's would be a better choice. Otherwise, you can go for project management as well, engineering management as well. So these are very upcoming courses and they have really good scope and value in Canada. Okay. Cool. So I've answered these questions. I want to do masters in AI with less fee and the best college. Is that possible in Canada, US, or Germany? Ratna, to be honest, in artificial intelligence, if I talk about less fee, I'm not really sure if Germany has a program solely for artificial intelligence. For that, you can check out DAAD. That's the German Academic Exchange Service. So that website would have everything on Germany. You can check that out. Otherwise, out of all the other English-speaking countries, if you want to study masters, the cheapest masters will cost you is in the UK. Essentially, why? Because UK has 1 year masters, and technically you'll be spending less money in the UK in 1 year than you'll be spending in, say, US or Canada, because US and Canada, they would have 2 year masters. Cool. I hope that answers your question. I have a CGPA of 5.4 in BTech. It affects the time of the visa application. Will I get visa? 5.4, yes, it's a borderline case, Pavan. But again, I would say if your IELTS is strong, I'm pretty much sure you cannot get into a master's, but you can get into a PG diploma. But if your IELTS is strong, make sure you have a very strong SOP while applying for the visa. And that's the reason I tell you that, with us, if you apply through us, we do have very experienced SOP writers who've been writing SOPs for the last 5+ years, and they can help you draft a very strong SOP. So if you enroll today for just 199, you can resolve this issue of yours in terms of SOP. Plus, make sure that your IELTS is very, very strong as well. So yeah. Cool. Next question. Sithini, I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, want to do master's in data science. Is that possible? If yes, then do I need to take courses on data science in India? Essentially, in Canada, the visa can be an issue. And essentially, I think Canada is very strict with your overall background, Sithini. So I would say, in your case, if you have some work experience, then obviously we can somehow justify that you have gathered work experience in that field, and you want to make a career in that field, and that's how you want to proceed further with your career. But again, in case you don't have work experience, and unfortunately, I don't think so it will be good to apply. However, that being said, I think the UK is pretty flexible in case you want to move to the UK and study for data sciences. A lot of UK universities will also accept you with a relevant background. But don't expect the university to handhold you from the beginning. So you should essentially have the basic understanding of the subject. So they'll not feed you from the beginning. They'll not cover the basics. They'll straight come to the point, and they expect you to come with a basic understanding of the subject. Next up, Mohammed Kamil, I'm planning for Masters in Mechanical. What is the average fee? So it will be somewhere between, like I said, around 20,000 to 35,000 per annum. Depends on which, province you study at, which university you study at. So Mohammed, the general, like I said, the general thing would be, that essentially Ontario and British Columbia are generally the expensive sort of provinces. So if you're looking at something which is affordable and also good, highly ranked, so I think check out Saskatchewan, Alberta. They have really good universities there. And I'm not really sure why not many Indian students apply to these kind of universities. So, what if I tell you there are so many universities like, University of Saskatchewan, they're like really, really affordable. So I've seen some courses which are like just $18,000, $19,000 per annum. If you check out something like Memorial University of Newfoundland, and I think one of the courses I saw was for like $16,000, which is essentially very, very, I think, value for money. Next, Mrudala, yes, Lambton is a good college, so don't worry about that. Rohan, 80% bachelor's in occupational therapy. Is there a master's available in Canada? Rohan, I would have to check essentially for Canada. I'm not really sure, but I think you can find related courses in top universities for sure. And with 80%, your sister can apply. But again, there would be a lot of other factors which also come into play, whether the course also requires GRE or what kind of IELTS score is required. Again, there would be other factors like SOPs, your LORs as well. So essentially, I would say I would have to check, but I think Toronto does have these kind of courses. Again, even Western would have, or even Dalhousie. Just check out Dalhousie. I'm pretty much sure Dalhousie has something related to occupational therapy for sure. Cool. Next up, okay, I've lost the questions. Sheikh Abdul Rahman, where to study, US or Canada, cost-wise? Which one is best? I think, Abdur, I think Canada is more affordable in terms of living as well. So essentially, Canada would be a better choice. Is IELTS overall 6.5 enough to do masters in Canada? Kevin, yes, a few universities will accept you with a 6.5, but again, that will also depend on the kind of cohort which is applying, the kind of what kind of applications the university is getting. So there are a lot of other factors which come into play, because like I said, Canadian universities are very competitive, and they receive a lot of applications. They do write that okay, we accept people with a 6.5 or a 650 GMAT or a 550 GMAT, but essentially it also depends on what kind of application pool they are getting in that intake. So there are other factors which also come into play. Meet Patel, minimum cost for going to Canada for masters in engineering. So Meet, ideally, I would say you can set aside around $20,000 for the tuition fee if you go to the cheapest uni, 20 to 22,000, and plus you can add around $12,000. Essentially, the Canadian government says 10,000, but the cost can be higher. So you can ideally set aside around 35,000 Canadian dollars per annum for a master's. You can also work part-time. I think you must be knowing that. And yeah, you can cover most of the living expenses. Cool. Nawaz, yes, you can do a master's in Toronto for sure. But you have a BSc, which is a 3-year degree. So essentially, you have to check if Toronto will accept you, because they accept 3-year degrees on case-to-case basis. Plus, Toronto is a very, very reputed university. So I would say you would need very high percentage, essentially 75-80% above to get into Toronto. So do check that. Cool. Guys, before I take the last few questions, there's a link in the chat box, and it gives me immense pleasure to say that, seats are filling very, very fast. So it's only limited seats. If you enroll now, you can get exclusive guidance from me, like I said. Plus, you also get to avail all the benefits LeapScholar has to offer. So just go and sign up right now. And I'll take the last few questions before I wrap up this session. Plus, my throat is gone for today. Ashok Kumar. There's some messages I kind of... Okay, I missed. Okay, Zeba Manu, yes. I'd like to know what are my options for PG courses abroad after my 3-year BCA course. Plenty of options, Manu. I think cybersecurity, you can do web software development, you can do IT services, you can do data sciences, anything and everything IT, I think. So whatever floats your boat, whatever interest you have, I think you're pretty good to go ahead, because you have a bachelor's in computers and you don't intend to change your field. But just make sure that, just to get a basic understanding of the whole thing, pursue, for IT people, it's very essential to keep upskilling themselves. And I think the best thing to do is to, do a lot of online courses. They're very short courses. And, there is free website called classcentral.com. For everyone attending this session, you get all the links to the courses which are available for free and offered by top universities globally. And yes, you just have to pay a few dollars if you want to get a certificate, but if you just want to learn, they're free. So it's called classcentral.com. You can check that out. Ashok Kumar, unfortunately, with 15 backlogs, it's very difficult to get into a PG diploma course. However, there is one university I know which accepts you with at least 20 backlogs as well. It's called Crandall University, but I think they just have one program, and that is also in management. Otherwise, with 15 backlogs, it's pretty difficult. Very difficult, in fact. Maximum, I would say, is decent colleges will happily accept 6 to 8 backlogs. Then there are some really good colleges like Humber. They'll not accept more than 4 backlogs, but it will vary from college to college. Jatin, Lambton is a very well-known college for IT, and yes, it is a good college. However, check out some what do you say, co-op options as well. I think the full stack development program in Lambton has a co-op. I'm not really sure whether it's an optional co-op or a compulsory co-op. I'm not sure about that, but check out if you can get a co-op option as well. It will help you in your career. I always recommend that someone who's going for a PG diploma in Canada, go for a co-op option. It definitely helps you a lot. Cool. Malindi Ravindra. Unfortunately, PG diploma in finance. Why do you want to change your field? Mechanical is a very good field to be in. But if you have some work experience, Malindi, in finance or related fields, then ideally we can. But again, it's not recommended. However, with the UK, it's possible, not Canada. UK is pretty okay with it. Okay, Harinder, your profile is very complicated. Are we eligible for Canada if we have changed our streams? Like in 10+2, we have medical, but after that we have degree in arts, and after this we have done fashion designing diploma, and that is also based on +2. Okay, so this is very confusing, Harinder. Why don't you enroll with us, and you can get a proper guidance, because it's a very confusing profile, and trust me, it's like I have to figure out the whole chronology, when you did that courses. Essentially, a lot of students do change their fields after the 12th standard. I also did, but again, you've changed your fields like twice or thrice, I think. So I need more clarity. Cool. I'll take one more question, and then we can wrap up this session. I'll be back for another session next week. Rhythm Sethi. Okay, Rhythm, York University School of Continuing Studies, postgraduate certificate course in digital and content marketing. Trust me, I also thought about this course for myself, because I keep exploring options. So, I just want to upskill myself. I was, because I got into marketing thing, and now of making content and, getting into digital marketing, even I thought I'll apply for it. As far as my research goes, it's a very good course because you practically work with industry people, and you kind of graduate with a proper portfolio, which will help you in landing jobs in Canada. However, that being said, it's an 8-month course, so you only get 8 months PSW, and that's like a risk factor, because PR can be difficult in that case. But if you're looking to study at York, I think it's a good course. You can also combine it with some other course if you wish to study, like if you want to get extended work permit. Cool. Okay, guys, before I wrap up this session, for those who have enrolled, like I said, someone will get in touch with you from Leap, and they'll tell you the further proceedings, and we'll connect soon. Thank you so much for attending today's session. And after this session ends, you can also post your queries in the comments, and we'll try and answer them. And I'll be back with another session. I hope you enjoyed today's session, and thank you so much. Keep watching LeapScholar's videos. And before we wrap up, one last time, This is the exclusive webinar, and please sign up right now. It's only 199 rupees. It's cheaper than a Starbucks coffee. It's cheaper than barista. It's cheaper than a McDonald's. So yeah, do sign up, and I think you will definitely benefit a lot from our offerings, and yes, it's totally worth it. Thank you so much. My throat really hurts right now, so I can't really speak anymore. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again next week. Bye bye.